Rosemary Danon to the stage. And you can join us in the middle. All right. You good? All right, Rosemary, thank you for joining us. Great to see you. Okay, so let's dive right in. There is this little event that is going to blow into our region in 2028 called the Olympics. And so what I'd like to start with is let's level set. Give us an understanding of the magnitude of the opportunity that exists when an Olympic Games is hosted in your region.
We have to refer to it as a freight train or a tsunami of activity, money, clean house, the hospitality, all of that. And there's only 1,204 days till opening ceremonies. I know that sounds far away, but we first started this discussion with 16 days. So we're quickly moving into that area. The amount of attention we're going to get from the, of course, this, but there's going to be about I mean, the range is between $7 and $11 billion coming in, and that's mostly going to be gear up, meaning infrastructure, event planning, hospitality suites. Every hotel is going to be full. Every limo is going to be out there, even though they're calling it a no-car Olympics. We know the reality on that. But there are so many opportunities, and I love the conversation that's been going on about procurement and the emphasis on procurement, because this is going to take procurement to a new level. But the reality is that, procurement's a tough thing if you've never done it before. And it's extremely intimidating. So at SCORE, we're taking the hand-holding approach. We're doing monthly workshops for the next 4 years where we're saying we will get you registered, certified, and contract ready before you leave the workshop.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Good.
That's a bad mic.
Oh, wow. All right. So clearly the opportunity is massive. For a small business who might be wondering how could they possibly begin to even pursue a contract on the size and scale of an Olympics? Like, what are some of the what are the variety of opportunities that exist such that a small business can get involved?
It is almost inconceivable how many things are bought. And all of you in business know what you buy. You buy everything. You buy toilet paper, you buy services, you buy cleanup, you buy everything. So all of that exists in the procurement world, but really at an exponential level. And the other problem with the procurement world is you've got the feds over here. You've got the California state over here. You guys talk Caltrans, OCTA, Scanza, Metro, Port of Long Beach. All of these, Port of LA, all of them are huge billion-dollar entities on their own. Now imagine they're all cleaning house. They're all getting ready for relatives coming. And the biggest party for the last since 1984, shall we say? Yeah. So that's the kind of opportunity. And so many businesses don't think that they, I can't compete on that level. And that's where it's so important for hand-holding and mentoring if it's brand new to you. We had one guy who showed up one of our California procurement workshops, and we had it capped. He got in at the last second, begged, admittance, and I said, sure. I said, bring your paperwork. We don't want you unless you have your paperwork and you're ready to go. He came in, left. That night, he called me because he had my number on a thing and said, I got a contract.
Wow.
What do I do now? So,
wow.
And that's the kind of thing. When it happens, it happens. And, I ran over, do you have your COGS, cost of goods and services? Do you know where you're at? Do you know where you bid? Yeah. All these things. We talked about the payroll things he had to work out and got him a mentor who could walk him through that.
Wow.
And that's where it's like the complete relationship that we at SCORE try to do, because we know it's tough and we know it's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing we want to bring small businesses in that would never have the opportunity, the chance. And also remember, a lot of these contracts go to out-of-state businesses. And we want the money to stay here. The procurement process might sound clumsy, but I think it's genius, because it really delivers dollars down to the people who do the first hiring. Recessions come and go, but where it comes back is the small businesses start hiring again first before the corporations do. And when the corporations start laying off, the small businesses are the last to lay off. So these are the kind of dynamics that really benefit from a surge of opportunity.
Yeah. Got it.
What are some of the key steps that a small business should first take to try to attract these opportunities for their business?
Well, you got to get familiar, and that's one of the, I can give you code information and all that, but I know it'll make you crazy. So we suggest you do. Ask AI, that's a very good starting point. I always like to think of AI as my graduate student. Who's
so best friend and graduate student.
He's my graduate
Got
student and needs some direction, right?
Yeah.
You got to keep an eye on him. So, you can start there. You can just, Google that, or, you can go and get a mentor at SCORE. We have mentors that experience in procurement and that kind of a thing. And there's so many agencies out there that want to help you. I think the most wonderful thing about going to these events is just hearing, the overwhelming interest in assisting the small business client. We want that money to go to them.
Got it. So with something like an Olympic Games, for the businesses that are pursuing these procurement opportunities, are these opportunities being offered by, the Olympic Host Committee? Are they being offered by just a whole coalition of partners that are involved in the Olympics? What are the different entities that are awarding contracts during the Olympic Games?
Well, it's all the above. Like I said, infrastructure is probably the ones you're going to really see now, because, it's going to take a couple years to be, Olympic ready. We've got the Super Bowl coming our way. We've got, World Cup, all these other things that I consider warm-up events. So you're going to see the infrastructure folks come out strong and hard with tons of RFPs. But then you have, like, the port just sent us over several RFPs that were for event catering, event cleanup, event, every element of event for 4 years. And there are literally hundreds of events. And you can see them ramp up year to, at the year. So everybody is gearing up. There's going to be cultural houses. This is an opportunity for communities, to show their culture, to have tents that welcome athletes from that country or from that culture, and to have special hospitality services. You're going to have food trucks, food vending. It's going to be at the touch of your hands. One of the things LA and Long Beach really want to have is alternatives to restaurants for food, because the restaurant industry is going to be packed. The number of reservations are going to be crazy, but they want street vending, and they are hustling business permits, health permits right now. We're doing a big series on not only how to get in the food business before the big events start, but where you can vend food, how it's regulated, what your opportunities are. And then you have banks stepping up that are saying, we'll do microloans. We're going to get you there. I have clients that want to start T-shirt businesses. They want to order 100,000 T-shirts in the next 4 years. I have clients that want to, they network and they get together and they form little coalitions to better process and serve these kind of huge contracts, because it feels better to be in numbers.
Yeah. So the point there that sounds like it would align well here is this notion of creating new ideas and opportunities for a business because of the size and scope of the Olympic Games that are coming to town. So what I'd love to maybe hear from you, from your perspective, what are some of the, what are some of those opportunities that maybe can carry on beyond the Olympics, right? So you create this business opportunity that maybe you've launched it or scaled it up during the Olympics, but how do you carry it on beyond the Olympics?
That, of course, depends upon the discipline. One of the things we're really pushing is creativity that you mentioned in a lot of the companies that swag, T-shirts, all those things, to really. You don't have to be a licensed sponsor of the IOC to have fun with the Olympics. During the Paris events...
No, I don't want to get you in trouble.
No.
I know they're vigilant about their
No, we are very
their
vigilant.
brand.
But, it was interesting because there was a line of shirts, at a local retailer. There was a simple dunk of a woman dunking a basketball, and all it said was Paris 2024. Beautiful shirt. I bought one on the spot, and I use it to show people. I mean, it's one of those things that you just have to use your imagination. If you look at events, both tragic, happy, all the events, there's always a zeitgeist. And a good marketer can kind of work with that zeitgeist in an empathetic way, in a joyful way, in a sensitive way, or in a fantastic way to sort of capture the moment. And we have a licensing workshop we're coming up with about what you can and can't do to not get in trouble with intellectual property, of course, but to take advantage of that creativity. And when you can get elevated, so you're really, operating in it, your social media will kick in, all those other things, you're going to get that inertia and benefit from it from years to come.
Got it.
How important are the certifications for the small business, such as woman-owned, minority-owned?
Well, it's everything kind of. It's the registration, certification, and contract ready, as they say. A lot of changes have happened in how their minority grants are done and things like that, but there are new things that are going on. For example, the city of Long Beach has opportunities for more points if certain criteria is met. So, I think everybody wants to cater to our locals. We want them involved. And like I said, the hand-holding is there. You just have to find it. There's a lot of companies that charge a lot of money to do this for you. If you have that luxury, that's a wonderful thing. But if you don't have that luxury, there are ways you can do it yourself and get hand-holding from a lot of organizations, including SCORE.
Got it. So I know with SCORE, you all have been very intentional about really that, almost like sounding the alarm, right? It's the bat signal to the business community that, hey,
it's now.
LA 2028,
Yeah.
you need to get ready right now for LA
exactly.
2028. So talk to us about, as you're working with the business community to get them prepared for the massive opportunities, what are some of the obstacles that you're seeing? Like, are there some recurring challenges that you're seeing across a lot of businesses, like obstacles that are maybe standing in the way of them being contract ready, standing in the way of them being better positioned to compete for these Olympic contracting opportunities?
Knowing the cost of your goods or services. That is
Pricing.
something
We
that
just
I've
talked
seen
about
bite people so quickly because they get so excited. They are registered, contract ready, and boom, there's a contract. It fits me perfectly. And they submit the lowest bid without thinking through whether or not they can do the work for what they're committing to. So knowing that and knowing the scalability of your product or service is equally important because, very often in these contracts, they're much bigger than you're used to. Also, I really push people to network. Let's say there's your specialty is event cleanup or something, and you're used to doing events like this. So you get an offer from the port who's got a party of 2,000 or 3,000 guests. Have you ever done that size before? Maybe next time you can network in your area of expertise. Get together with another vendor. You can bid together. You can share bids. You can unite together. And that's helpful to a lot of small businesses because once you get your feet wet, then you have a better kind of overview of what you can and cannot handle.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. Rosemary, we thank you for joining us, and we look forward to continuing and coming alongside you to help really get the word out, to let business owners know about the opportunity that's coming.
Thank you.
In 2028, and we'll keep in touch with you on the running count.
Love
right?
it.
We're
love
1,200 days away.
Yep,
You said.
that's all we. Yes. Thank
All right.
you.
Excellent. Round of applause for Rosemary.